The Skew Chisel is the tool that intimidated me the most when I first started wood turning. I know a lot of other wood turners struggle with it also. Today, I'm going to share with you a practice routine to go through several different cuts that we can make with our Skew Chisel, and it's also a great way to help improve our skills and keep those skills nice and sharp and ready to use. Recently, I posted a couple of videos on the Skew Chisel showing how I refined the shape of this Skew Chisel and sharpened it, and then also just turned a cylinder with the Skew Chisel. I'll leave links in the description below to those videos, but let's get to this practice session so we can master these Skew Chisel skills. So I'm just using scrap for this practice piece today. This was just a chunk of a 2x4 I had laying around in the shop, and I cut it down to roughly 1.5 inches square. I've got my Skew Chisel all sharpened, ready to go. Now, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to use a spindle roughing gouge to take off these sharp corners, but I wanted to show you today, since we're practicing with the Skew Chisel, we can rough this down with our Skew Chisel and get it down to a cylinder. So let's start there. So I'm going to work large to small here. So I'm just going to come back here, get the Skew Chisel engaged a little bit. I'm just going to, once I hear it, and we're just going to move forward. We're just going to keep working down the way. And from here, I'm just working from here out towards that tailstock. I'm just going to keep doing that. And as I do that, I'm getting this closer to a cylinder down here on this end. Now my headstock's in the way just a little bit, so we're going to come back, same thing, and just work toward the headstock. You can see we can get this material cleared off pretty fast. All right, let's talk real quick about what we're doing here. All I'm really doing is getting my Skew Chisel engaged at roughly a 45-degree angle to my workpiece. So if I just turn that around just a little bit, you can kind of see how easily that slices and cuts. So that's all we're doing is I'm wanting to use the middle part down. So on all these cuts, I'm not going from tip to tip. So I'm only using about half the Skew Chisel at any one time. So let's take a closer look at what that looks like. You can see this, the shavings coming off. You can see where that dust is. You can see where the cut line is. So I'm just engaging by gradually lifting up. I'm lifting up the tool handle just a little until I get the blade engaged. And then I just move along. As the diameter reduces, I have to keep lifting the handle to keep the tool engaged. So I'm lifting, lifting, lifting. So we went from rough all the way down to a cylinder, and the one thing I want you to notice here is we've actually got a pretty smooth cylinder. This is pine or Douglas fir or something like that. It was basically just a 2x4 stud, not the best wood in the world to turn, but we've got a pretty smooth finish right off the tool. All right, so let's go on to step 2 in our practice. Today, what I want to do is let's take and advance our skills with our Skew Chisel a little bit. We're going to go through a practice turning beads with our Skew Chisel, so we're going to go through that. We're going to start here in a moment. We're just going to mark out some V-notches, which is another cut that I use the Skew Chisel for a lot, are V-notches. Now, the vast majority of the time, if I'm turning beads, really with anything, I'm going to use a detailed spindle gouge. If you're just starting out, that's where I would suggest starting, is using that spindle gouge for those beads. You can also turn coves with that tool as well. And if you're interested in seeing that, I've got a video I'll link right here that just kind of walks through the beginning steps of using a spindle gouge to turn beads and coves. But to help master our skills with our skew chisel, let's do the same thing. So why would we want to turn beads with a skew chisel if we can do it with a spindle gouge, and if that's how you're going to do it most of the time? Well, you might be working on a part where you only need one bead and maybe you've got it connected with other tapers. You've already got the skew chisel in your hand. If we can get good with that, turning beads with this tool, then we don't have to change tools, and it does speed up the process a little bit. Plus, the more control we have, the finer detailed cuts that we can make with this tool, the more comfortable we're going to get with it. So you may never use your skew chisel to turn beads, but it is going to help you master control of the tool. So let's get started. I'm going to start with just some V notches. So we're just going to notch in. So when I'm cutting a V notch, I usually just plunge straight in, and then I go to the side. I'm going to angle just a little bit, and then I'm going to slice right down into the V. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I get the V, the depth or width that I want. So we're not always going to do V notches quite that deep. Sometimes they're going to be really shallow. In this instance, since we're turning beads, and even if I'm turning beads with my spindle gouge, I may start with V notches with my skew chisel. I'm going to use the heel or the short end, the short point, to turn these beads. So the first thing I'm going to do, no different than using a spindle gouge, I'm just going to get my tool engaged. I'm going to lift the handle, pick up a shaving, and just kind of roll my tool over until I get it to an upright position. Now it's a little hard. I'm struggling here on the end, and I need to practice these as well, which is why I'm doing this today. So I just want to pick up my shaving, and then I'm really using the point quite a bit on this cut. So I'm picking up here on the bottom. Got half of that one looking not too bad. Let's see if we can get it looking better on this end. Ah. All right, we're practicing, we're moving on. So just keep working right down your piece here. When we lose the cut, yeah, see, I got a little greedy there, and I tried to get that cut as I lost it. Back engaged, and of course it didn't work. I didn't get a big catch, but it started to. But the more we do these, the better we're going to get at them. You can see I'm really struggling with the shape, or getting a shape I like on these. So you can clearly see that 9.5 times out of 10, I'm rolling a bead with my spindle gouge. That didn't feel too bad, but I got an awkward bead here nonetheless. This one's a little wider, so I'm going to get engaged. We'll make this one a little more egg shaped. This would probably be the more likely scenario, a shape like this, where I would actually stick with the skew chisel instead of grabbing the spindle gouge. You can see I've lost most of my shape here though. That's not, I'm really flat there. Down here on this length, I'm just going to cut a taper in here. So I need to keep practicing on the beads. As you can see, some of them aren't bad, some of them are pretty bad. But in order to keep practicing, one of the things we can do is use a peeling cut to remove these beads and give us a kind of almost a blank slate, so we can just kind of keep working. So I'm going to adjust the tool rest just a little bit. Peeling cuts are another great cut that you can make with the Skew Chisel, and that just helps you remove material really pretty rapidly. So this gives us an opportunity to practice that cut. And all we have to do is come up here, get the tool engaged. In this case, I've got the blade running parallel to the workpiece, and I'm just lifting the handle right into it, much like you would do with a parting tool. So now we've gotten rid of that, and we can just keep going to whatever diameter we want. Nice thing is we can go right next to it, and then boom, we're right down to that same diameter. It's a great way to size your work down, just like that. These peeling cuts are a great skill to have with the Skew Chisel. You're going to find a lot of uses for it. We can use our hand here to dampen that a little bit. Now we've got our beads removed. Now obviously you can see here we've got a much rougher finish on that. If we want to smooth that out, we can come back through. Just use a planing cut. I need to lower the rest just a little bit to get that done. We're going to have some vibration. We can smooth this back out pretty easily. And then from here, we can come back in here . And now we can work on beads once again. So now we can just keep practicing. The key, in my opinion, to the Skew Chisel and a lot of things is just practice. Practice makes perfect, as the saying goes, and that is I found that definitely to be true with the Skew Chisel.